Well, Ilkay Gündogan to Arsenal interest. Guys, huge story coming in from David Austin, Tier 1 journalist, confirming to us that Arsenal is really working hard to see to it that they really sign Ilkay Gündogan on a free transfer. His contract is running out on the 30th of June this month. Mikel Arteta is driving this. He's talking to Ilkay Gündogan and calling him to come in and really take part of the next season that would be so much important for the club of Arsenal. Welcome to this channel. Rokani Media Football is the YouTube channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Balogun is another one into the mix. AC Milan coming close to really getting the signature of this player. And lastly, we are really going to discuss a little bit of Granit Xhaka's future. For the very first time, I was going to hate to speak about his future, whether he's going to leave Arsenal or not. When are you going to know when he's leaving or he's staying? Keep it Rokani Media Football. Let's start it off with David Austin giving us the Ilkay Gündogan story in full detail. He has told us that Arsenal do hold a concrete interest in Ilkay Gündogan and Arteta is driving it, having identified him as the ideal replacement for Granit Xhaka. Fresh efforts will be made to keep Ilkay Gündogan at City and the player has other possibilities. That is David Austin. Now, this is a very huge update coming in from David Austin. For all of those that know David Austin, he is really a tier 1 journalist. Tier 1 journalist, and he goes ahead to really get us news that is really concrete. And this time around, it is Mikel Arteta holding concrete interest to sign Ilkay Gündogan. Looks like Mikel Arteta has gotten to know that what is going to hate to fail him this season from winning the Premier League is all what we call experience and leadership. And if Arsenal happened to get Ilkay Gündogan, they would have gone ahead to hit like 4 birds with one stone. One, Ilkay Gündogan is an experienced player. Secondly, he's a leader. Thirdly, he's a winner. And fourthly, he is a talented player. I've always come out and told you that Arteta doesn't fancy to be having a player like Granit Xhaka playing into that box-to-box position in a midfield 3 because he's really not a technically gifted player. He's not press resistant, and that fails the rhythm of the flow of the team of Arsenal. If you're gonna hate look at Ilkay Gündogan, you'll understand why Mikel Arteta needs a player like him. But the big factor is Ilkay Gündogan is 32 and Xhaka is 30, But when you look at what Ilkay Gündogan offers to the club at the age of 32, it's so much more than that Xhaka offers to the club of Arsenal at the age of 30. That's why Arteta is really looking in for a player like Ilkay Gündogan. But Ilkay Gündogan has a lot to really benchmark on and make a decision on where he's going to be playing next season. Why? Arsenal is talking to him. He has been at City, he has won it all, and if at all he wins the Champions League for City, I think would have gone ahead to win every trophy with Man City. So, looks like he might find himself in a position of making a decision to go on and really try something else. That is for Ilkay Gündogan. But when you look at Pep Guardiola has gone ahead to offer a new contract to Ilkay Gündogan and he wants him to stay at the club of Manchester City. So it is really something intense. Arteta is pushing, Pep Guardiola is pushing. Now we want to see who is really going to convince Ilkay Gündogan to stay at Man City. But if at all Arsenal happen to get Ilkay Gündogan, they would have gone ahead to find themselves a player who is really good at what he does. Because for me, I started loving Ilkay Gündogan when he was playing for Borussia Dortmund way back in 2010. I really loved the player. And by that time, he had a problem of being injury prone. But when he came in at City and they signed him, they've gone ahead to really give him the right treatment. He's back in shape. And it's not a life is that even if Arsenal sign him at 32 years, he won't give them like more 3 good seasons. I think he's that kind of player that every team would love. Man United will sign Ilkay Gündogan. Chelsea would sign Ilkay Gündogan. Barcelona are wanting to sign Ilkay Gündogan. Real Madrid would sign Ilkay Gündogan. Liverpool would. And this shows you how particular Arteta is on the players he wants to get in next season. to get in this summer to go ahead and really take Arsenal to the trophy triumph next season. Because if you are in a position where Arsenal is, you shouldn't go all out to get in players that are going to be bench players. You should get in players that are going to come and directly compete with those that you're really having, because competition creates what we call perfection, and obviously a team can go on a very huge winning run, and let's anticipate that. Now, there is another journalist that has gone ahead to really get us some news about Ilkay Gündogan. He goes by the names of E.D. Aarons. He's a sports writer at The Guardian, and obviously Nick Amazed. They've told us that Ilkay Gündogan could be tempted to work with Mikel Arteta. The deciding factor may be the length of the contract. The player is likely to require a deal of 2 years if his spell in Man City, which began in 2016, is to be extended. Now, this is where City are going to be forced either to offer Ilkay Gündogan a contract of 2 years, or they'll see themselves losing the player to a side known as Arsenal. Ilkay Gündogan, a talented player, and it depends on what contract is going to be offered to him by Arsenal, what amount of money Arsenal is going to offer him. But I don't think City would like to lose a player like Ilkay Gündogan to Arsenal. They know how good Ilkay Gündogan has been in their season, because he has gone ahead to score very many goals and create many for the club of Man City. We've seen him several times, even when Rodri is not in shape to play, he has found himself playing into that position for a team of Man City. And I remember when we are going to play Man City at Etihad, before we conceded 6-3 against Man City, because I support Manchester United, I really came out and said on my match reaction that if at all Ilkay Gündogan is out, if at all Rodri is out, I think that midfield battle can be won by Manchester United. Yet I was really lying to myself. That way Ilkay Gündogan silenced that midfield of Manchester United. Oh my God. You know, he's a talented player. He can play as a CDM. He can play as a number 8. He can play as a central attacking midfielder. He improves the midfield of Arsenal technically, and obviously his work rate is really great because he's a monster of a player in that midfield. He runs a lot, you know. His physical abilities are really immense. But most importantly, his talent and leadership skills. I think that's why Mikel Arteta is so much interested in signing Ilkay Gündogan at a club of Arsenal. So let's wait and see what's going to happen. But looks like Arsenal are really so much interested in really getting the signature of Ilkay Gündogan, and they really want to sign him permanently and obviously offer him more than a deal that City is trying to offer him in there. Remember, even last season, he helped them win the league on the final day. Remember, Aston Villa went 2 goals up of City. Ilkay Gündogan scored a brace, and he scored even the winner, and then Rodri scored the equalizer. So he's a very talented player that every team would love to have, and I think it will be a very good button pressed by Mikel Arteta as this player ticks all the boxes of the midfielder that could come in through and obviously become a replacement of Granit Xhaka. Now, Granit Xhaka has gone ahead and really spoken to the Standard Sport about his future. As we talk about Ilkay Gündogan being the replacement of Xhaka, it looks like Xhaka has also gone ahead to make his mind to leave a team known as Arsenal. Now, Xhaka has told us that if next week we know how much more what happens with my future, I'll be thankful for the fan base because how they treat me after this. I didn't expect that, if I am honest. I'm thankful for that, and I want to give them something back for maybe my last game on Sunday. And it shows you exactly what is running in the mind of Granit Xhaka and what the tier 1 sources like Christian Falk, Fabrizio Romano, and a plate goal from Germany have gone ahead and told us about Xhaka, that Xhaka to Bayern Leverkusen is 90% done. They've gone ahead to agree personal terms onto how he's going to go on and join the team, meaning that on Sunday we might see Xhaka waving goodbye to the club of Arsenal. And I understand why Xhaka is going to leave Arsenal, because he can't really meet the demands of Mikel Arteta. That's it. Arteta has reached a level of really calling in for huge demands, and those demands are really driven by talent. That's it. Next season, that starting 11 of Arsenal might change drastically. You might find that a new right back is going to be coming in at Arsenal. If at all João Cancelo comes in at Arsenal, he'll play in the right back. If at all Declan Rice comes in or Caicedo, he'll start in that central midfield. If at all Ilkay Gündogan comes in at Arsenal, he'll start in that midfield. Meaning that we might see more players being benched by Mikel Arteta because of what he knows and what he has seen that quality offers to the club. But when you look at Xhaka, all his statements just indicate that he is leaving the club of Arsenal. He's leaving the club of Arsenal, and I think on Sunday is going to be his last game that is going to be playing for Arsenal, and I think it will be something great for him to make a decision like that, because it's always said the why see ahead. The demands of Mikel Arteta next season might not be fitting the talent of Granit Xhaka, and he might be wanting to go on to a team that is going to offer him a 4-year contract, and Arsenal might not be willing him to offer him a contract of that length. And we all know that there is a woman behind this. You know, the wife of Xhaka got him from Germany, and Xhaka had really made a promise that at one time he'll return to Germany to play that side because the woman likes the Rhinelands in Germany. So let's wait and see how that's going to pan out. But it looks like that is like a message preparing us for Xhaka's departure from Arsenal. And I won't be surprised if at all on Sunday he's going to be waving to the fans of Arsenal. That's it. And let's wait and see. Now, let's look at another player known as Balogun. David Austin hinted on it yesterday that looks like Arsenal are willing to sell the player. Now, we've been told by Daniel Longo, he works for Calcio Mercato, and he's a correspondent for Inter Milan. He has told us that AC Milan like Balogun more than other targets in that position and will attempt to sign him with contact planned before and end of the season. However, RB Leipzig are in the front row. Arsenal's valuation is more than 30 million euros for the player. So, Balogun is yet another player who is yet to leave the club of Arsenal. You know, when you look at his ego and his demands, looks like he wants to stay. He wants to be at the club next season. That's going to give him first team football. With Arsenal having Gabriel Jesus, I don't see them really benching him for Balogun, because even if Balogun comes in at Arsenal and comes off the bench to come in and play in as an understudy for Gabriel Jesus, he won't welcome that. Him and his agent are going to push for a first starting position. Unless otherwise Mikel Arteta is willing to offer that, Balogun won't be willing to really be a bench player. He wants to start. That's why he saw to it that he made a decision to go on and really play for the American national team, football team, other than playing for the English national team. He doesn't have that patience, as I thought that he would have gone ahead to come in through and obviously play maybe in a Premier League team or at AC Milan. Then he pushes for a starting position ahead of Harry Kane, Ivan Toney, and Callum Wilson. And with Ivan Toney suspended, it would have gone ahead to be so much important for him to play. And then he gets an invite at the English national team, but it looks like he's impatient. And if at all he cannot be patient for the England national team, where he knows that their players performing better than him, do you think he can be patient at Arsenal when he has been at the club and has gone ahead to score 20 goals a season? I think Arsenal might really consider selling the player at maybe 50 million euros. That is like 40 million pounds, to really add on to the 200 million pounds they have to spend in the summer to either getting the right players that he wants. And I think the appetite of Mikel Arteta for players like Balogun is really less. That's why you see to him going in for experienced players and proven players and finished articles like Ilkay Gündogan, João Cancelo, Moise Caicedo, Declan Rice. He's going in for finished articles, and we look at Ilkay Gündogan, he's a finished article and a player that he could get in as a free agent. So he's looking at how he's going to improve his squad to become better. And I think Balogun doesn't make the squad of Arsenal better, but he just comes in to really create what we call uncertainty into the dressing room. So guys, your thoughts on Ilkay Gündogan? to Arsenal are welcome in the comment section. Do you think Ilkay Gündogan is going to turn down the contract of City to join Arsenal? And then Granit Xhaka, I've told you what I was going to have to say towards the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Do you think it's a pre-farewell to the fans of Arsenal? All of that in the comment section. And lastly, what do you think about Balogun? Should Arsenal keep Balogun or not? Because AC Milan has gone ahead to show interest and they've put him as the number one target for the summer. A sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Rokani David remains my name. This is the Arsenal News Show, and the YouTube channel goes by the names of Rokani Media Football. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Me out for now.